Okay, here we go with our video for tonight. Today we're going to be doing video number 6. Video number 6 is model of division of a whole number by a fraction. So the other night we did a fraction by a whole number. Now we're going to do it the other way around. Our learning targets are students will be able to model the quotient of a whole number and a fraction, and students will be able to divide a whole number by a fraction. So by modeling, we'll be able to actually find the answer. Okay, you need to write down those two learning targets. And if you are done, move on. If not, go ahead and pause, because I'm going to move on to the next screen. In our first example, we're going to use a tape diagram model. What I want you guys to do is I want you to write down this problem in the blank that I have provided for you. So make sure you write down the problem so you know what you're doing. All right? So a tape diagram model looks very similar to a fraction strip model. So it's going to be the same kind of idea. So what we're going to do in this model is we are going to divide 8 divided by 2/3. What does this mean? Well, this means I want to figure out that 2/3 of what number is 8. That is what I am doing here. 2/3 of what number equals 8. That's what happens when you divide a whole number by a fraction. That's what we're trying to figure out here. So here's how you would do this using a tape diagram model. Okay, I'm going to go through a couple parts here, so and then how to set it up. First thing I'm going to do is make my tape diagram shell. So that's just going to be my original rectangle. Okay. Now, how many sections do I break that up into? Well, that is going to be my denominator number. So this tells me how many sections I'm going to break up my number into. 3 sections, so I'm going to have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so my number of sections is my denominator. Now I'm going to move on to my shading. My numerator, let's change colors of pen here because that's kind of fun. I won't use red, we'll use a different color, blue. The numerator is going to tell me my shading. So I am going to shade 2 of them. So I'll shade that one, and we'll shade that one. So that's my 2/3 there. Okay? Now I have to try to figure out my answer, and that is where my 8 is going to come in. So let me switch colors. Let's try purple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up my 8 here, okay, and I'm going to put it evenly into each shaded section. So I'm going to evenly break up the 8 into each shaded section. So I have 2 sections shaded. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'm going to put 4 in here, and I'm going to put 4 in there. Now I continue the pattern for the rest of my sections, which means I'm going to put 4 in the last one. My answer is very simple. I add up what these inside numbers are. 4, 8, 12. 4 plus 4 plus 4, and that equals 12. I don't know why we have all these random bells, but sorry about the bell again today. 2 videos in a row. Okay, so we get 12 as our answer. Okay, so again, number of sections is my denominator. I shade my numerator. So basically I'm just creating the 2/3 model, and then the 8 is represented by putting equal amounts in each shaded section. Okay? If you need to continue writing that, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the next screen. Okay, example 2, a word problem. I'm still modeling, guys, just with a word problem. Your fun run team wants to run a total of 8 miles. So that's a key number. How many quarter-mile laps will your team run? Well, a quarter, guys, you need to know is 1/4. So what I am doing here is I want to know what is 1/4 of what number is 8. Which means I am doing 8 divided by 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to model that using my tape diagram again. So I'm going to draw it out. Start with my purple. My denominator, my 4, tells me how many sections. 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. Okay, I'm going to switch colors now. We're going to shade in 1 section because that's how many I have, 1/4. So I'm going to shade in 1 of my 4 sections. So there's my 1/4. And then finally, I'm going to distribute the 8 evenly into my shaded sections. Well, I have an 8. I only have 1 section. That means that 1 section is 8. It's all of them. And I continue the 8s for the remaining sections. And to get my answer, I add them up. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 equals 32. This is a word problem. How many quarter-mile laps will your team run? 32 laps. That's how many you'll run. Okay? If I'm running a quarter mile at a time, that means it takes 4 laps to get to 1 mile. 4 times 8, there's my 32. Okay? So that's how you do these. All right? If you need to pause, go ahead. I'm going to move on to the next problem. Okay, in the last one, Julia used 6 cups of sugar to bake cookies. This is 3/4 of the sugar in the container. How much sugar did she use originally? Well, I'm going to do 6 divided by 3/4, or 3/4 of what number? My original number is 6. That's what I'm doing here. Okay? Tape diagram method. Make my tape diagram. Break it into 4 sections. Okay? Because my denominator is 4. Shade in 3 of them because my numerator is 3. And then lastly, I am going to distribute my whole number evenly into my 3 sections here. Since I have 6, that means that's going to be 2, 4, 6. So there's my 6 evenly distributed. And then I continue the pattern for the unshaded one, and I add up my sections, and that would be 8. And this is how much sugar? So 8 cups of sugar. And that is how you do those. Okay, so your denominator is how many sections, your numerator is how much you shade, and then you take your whole number and you break it up evenly into each section, continue that pattern, add up each section, that's your answer. Okay, that is it for this video. Have a great night, and we'll see you in class the next day.